So one of my friends recently said to me, "Dante in Smash?" Question mark. This is kind of spawned from some rumors from a while back, like weeks and weeks ago. And the reason why he only asked me recently is because Devil May Cry 5 is getting a lot of hype around it. I'm playing it right now. I'm mostly enjoying it. I haven't got too far yet. I have a hard time keep playing. The levels are kind of long. It definitely feels like Devil May Cry 4 in my opinion, but that's because I've been playing as Nero the whole time. But I'm glad it still feels like Nero for Devil May Cry 4. It doesn't feel like DMC Devil May Cry, which we kind of knew it wouldn't because this is not Ninja Theory. But still, it's not exactly Clover either. But it does feel like a Devil May Cry game. It very much still feels like a Devil May Cry game. V is kind of weird. I'm not so into him. But a lot of people are saying like, well, maybe Dante will be in or will he be in Smash because he's such a big character. Here's the thing: a lot of people agree Dante would actually be perfect for Smash, and he definitely deserves to be in because Bayonetta is in, and also it'd be really fun to see those two go toe to toe with each other. Oh, for sure, it would be two of Kayama-san's like most favorite important characters of all time going head to head with each other. That'd be a ton of fun. It's also, I don't know, Dante's just really cool. He's a really good character. He would also fit perfectly in Smash because his B special attacks could be just all of his different weapons that he's got throughout different games, with his A attacks being all based off his sword and maybe some of his gun stuff being thrown in the mix as well. Um, so yeah, of course, like maybe his throws will have guns in it too or something like that. But like, yeah, so he'll be a perfect character for Smash. Honestly, the moveset's already there. Um, do I think it's a possibility or a reality? Well, I think the people who at Capcom behind Devil May Cry said they should probably port some of the older games onto the Switch first before they do this. Now, Devil May Cry 5 runs on the RE engine, which Resident Evil 7 couldn't really make it to the Switch. It has to be used off like a weird streaming device thing. It's not really the same. And so for me, two of my favorite, well, I say two of my favorite games so far, but there hasn't been that many of my favorite games yet. But Resident Evil 2 was probably a top contender for me for Game of the Year. It'll probably be in my top five Game of the Year, no matter what. So far, it's my Game of the Year. But Devil May Cry 5 is also really fun and all, but that game also runs on the RE engine. And so those two games probably aren't coming to Switch because RE engine doesn't really work that well on the Switch. It wasn't really made with the Switch in mind. So sadly, we might get some older games on Switch, which could be a cool way to get Dante going. And there's nothing wrong with announcing those games as as like coming out the same day you announced that Dante would be in Smash. However, there's still no Castlevania games on Switch. Of course, there's Castlevania games on Nintendo consoles in the past, so it doesn't really matter. But it's not like they ever did like a Castlevania HD collection or anything like that. The best thing they did was a game that came with both shit, why can't I think of the name that Richter's from the game that's from Rondo of Blood. It came with Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. And that's on PlayStation 4 and not on the Switch. So don't ask me why it's not on the Switch. I don't understand what's the fucking issue. How hard could it be to put that on Switch? But whatever. But since Devil May Cry 5 is out now, we might as well talk about what if Dante is in Smash? What would that be like? Well, like for starters, like I said, I already kind of went over the moveset. He'd probably have sword attacks for his A, with his B special attacks being different weapons he had throughout different games. They could also do the approach where they focus on like all his attacks being from mainly like one game, but it's whatever they want to do. Now, if I remember correctly, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Dante is in his DMC 3 design in both games. And here's the thing: when DMC 3 first came out, I honestly did love it. This is like the youngest version of Dante, I'm pretty sure. But I honestly really did like the design. But the only thing is that it's kind of gotten old, and I think part of why it's gotten old is because It's in Marvel's Capcom 3 and Marvel's Capcom Infinite. But the design is where Dante's like got his red jacket on and he's shirtless under. And when I played Project Cross Zone, which features Dante in both games, he had like his old school like vests and stuff on, where he's actually wearing clothes under his jacket. And while I have no problem with like a man being shirtless, it would be better. I feel like I really do like his older designs from DMC 1 and 2 the most, even if 3 is like the more iconic of the games. Um, so I would actually really like one of those for Dante and Devil May Cry. However, if they want to give Dante two costumes, because when I like to predict a DLC character, I like to to consider two costumes. Um, DMC3 Dante could be a good angle, but what would be better would be if it was like old Dante from DMC 4 and 5. Now, DMC 4 Dante isn't that old, and also I like his design a lot in DMC 4. Not gonna lie, but DMC 5 Dante is definitely way older. He's a very different kind of looking Dante. It's actually kind of jarring to look at DMC 3 Dante and then DMC 5 Dante. And remember, Dante is not an old fuck in every game. So I would actually love that. Now, to me, it would be hilarious if Dante didn't make it in and instead Nero made it in. I really like the character Nero. I think he's interesting. To me, I've always really liked characters who have like one arm that's different, whether it be a robotic arm or a demon arm. Either one is awesome. In fact, it's interchangeable. I always love when characters have like one arm that's like robotic, demon, or something about it. And the great thing about Nero is he has both. Both are different. He either in 4 he has a demon arm and he also has a robotic arm. But instead, we all know Nero's not going to make it in, but maybe he'll be a part of Dante's final smash? Nah, Dante's final smash will most definitely be something involving his demon form where he goes like full on transformation. So that's definitely what that's going to be. No Nero, sorry, but at least we can do tributes to Nero with his costume design. Now, you can't do a Nero alt skin or a Nero Ecco Fighter. Man, it would be so awesome to get one Ecco Fighter of all of these new fighters. If one of the new DLC fighters came with an Ecco Fighter, that would be fucking sick. That's the thing I think all of us are hoping for. We're all dreaming of an Ecco Fighter coming because we all love these Ecco Fighters. And one more new Ecco Fighter as DLC would be so fucking dope. Maybe they'll do it as a free DLC update one of these days, or maybe it'll come as part of a DLC pack. Sadly, if I feel like they don't want to do any more echoes, and if they were going to do any echoes off the base roster, then they would have been included with the game. And I mean, just Simon and Richter is kind of like an example of that. And the fact that Crom and Kin were added in, I think Kin could have been DLC potential, and they went ahead and put him in the base game for a reason. So I think that if there's going to be a new Echo Fighter, it would have to be based off a DLC character. Sadly, Dante would not be the one to do this for, because Nero and Dante won't actually work as echoes of each other. They actually are built differently in gameplay wise. Um, Something else that we should talk about would be the stage. This would actually be kind of difficult. Trying to think of the most iconic moment from Devil May Cry. With Bayonetta, the Fallen Clock Tower stage was actually perfect. If it wasn't that, then I probably would have mentioned something like fighting on top of the jet planes in Bayonetta 2. And so I'm really glad they went with the Clock Tower intro from Bayonetta 1 and I think it's in 2 as well. But like to me, yeah, like to me that screams Bayonetta is like destruction everywhere and you're jumping from platform to platform and she can kind of just stick to them. And I really like that for Smash as a stage, but for Devil May Cry, would it be like that dark dungeony area from Devil May Cry 1 maybe? I mean, really, Devil May Cry games kind of all look very similar in a lot of ways. I personally would probably have to say I kind of would like a destroyed city area, kind of like Devil May Cry 4 and 5 have going with them. To me, those resonate, so that could be a lot of fun for me. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't really know where I would pick for an iconic Devil May Cry stage. Oh, except maybe also possibly the stuff involving Dante and Virgil battling each other in Devil May Cry 2. I know there's like this like rainy like cobblestone place they fight on. It's really cool looking. So they could do something kind of like that, like kind of have something like from the intro of Devil May Cry 2. So they could do that, but we'd have to see. It is a tough call, um, and yeah, and of course I know I've been talking about Nero, but a lot of people actually prefer Virgil. So if they were going to do anything else, like an assist trophy or something like that, or a character costume based off of it, and again, Virgil wouldn't work as an Echo Fighter either. Devil May Cry is actually too diverse for like a single Echo Fighter. Um, yeah, that could be a lot of fun. But I don't want to ramble too much here. So yeah, I would like costume based off of young Dante and older Dante from Devil May Cry 5. And then I would also like a stage based off of either where Dante and Virgil battled, or maybe a destroyed city, or maybe the first area from the first Devil May Cry game. Those would all be cool things for me. Um, but the likelihood of a character like Dante coming, I just I'm not seeing it. The funny thing is that not a single character that was in PlayStation All Stars has made the cut yet. And a while ago, I predicted like Heihachi could possibly be in it, and now I'm really seriously doubting Heihachi. Even though it would be so dope, he might be something saved for the next one because I really am not seeing it here. Um, and as far as luckily Cloud and Snake were never in PlayStation All Stars, even though they should have been. And the funny thing is that Dante is in PlayStation All Stars, and he kind of has the right to be because he's so important to the PS2's lifespan. 3 games came out on the PS2, and you know, is Dante cool enough and important enough to be on the Switch with Super Smash Brothers? It's a tough question, and honestly, I have no earthly idea who the next character announced will be. I really have no fucking clue. While some people are really guns like dead set on it being something from Dragon Quest, maybe, and maybe that's why they're trying to put more Dragon Quest content on the Switch now. But besides that, it's like, will it be something from Kingdom Hearts or something from, Devil May Cry, more Capcom? I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking honestly, Dragon Quest probably still makes the most sense as far as the next character, but only time will tell. But I am honestly not thinking Dante. I'm honestly thinking Dante will probably not make it at all. And this video is really more just for fun, and not as an actual prediction. But I will say, if Dante does make it in, that'll be fucking badass. And Bayonetta kind of had a reason to make it in because Bayonetta 2 was a Wii U exclusive. And now, as the Switch is out, those games were re-released on the Switch, with Bayonetta 3 coming to the Switch as well. So, to me, it makes perfect sense for Bayonetta to be in Smash. And does it make perfect sense for Dante? No. It doesn't make any sense, actually. So, even though Dante's just a badass video game character, I just don't know if his home is going to be proper on Smash. While his home might be more proper for games like Marvel vs. Capcom. Alright, I'm going to end this video here. This, I guess, I just kind of haven't made an if this character's in Smash video in a long time. And I really wanted to do it again. And some of my friends were talking about Dante being in Smash as a possibility. So I just wanted to make this quick little fun video because Dante is a cool character and Devil May Cry is a cool franchise. I'm enjoying playing 5 right now. But if I had to pick another Capcom character and it wasn't allowed to be Mega Man or Street Fighter, which are the 2 franchises I probably like the most from Capcom, would I want a character from like Dante? Because if it's going to be from Devil May Cry, it has to be Dante. I probably wouldn't say so. In fact, I'd probably go in a different direction completely and want a character more like Strider, or something like that. Probably don't want a character like Dante. So, yeah, if I had to choose a Capcom character, I would probably want a character like Strider, to be completely honest. I'd also kind of like a character more along the lines of a Resident Evil character would be nice. Though which one could be kind of tricky. I know a lot of people would probably want like maybe Chris or Leon. I'd probably prefer Leon. I think he's my favorite of all the protagonists from Resident Evil. Mainly just because Resident Evil 4 is just such an awesome, memorable game. And just have him based basically exclusively off Resident Evil 4. And that's what I wanted him in Brawl for. And in Brawl, that would have been really a super appropriate. But now I don't know. I don't know if a character like Leon from Resident Evil 4 would be appropriate. I mean, I would still love it, and it would make sense for them to base it off that the most, and just have him have a costume from Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 both. There's nothing wrong with that. But most people would probably not want such an action-oriented hot take on Resident Evil. But for me personally, I would still love it if they put in Leon over anyone else. But if they didn't, my personal favorite character from Resident Evil, even over Leon, would be Jill. Just because Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3, even though I think Resident Evil 2 is probably my favorite of the games, Jill has such a great personality. Her look is really great, and I like her a lot in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I think it's really cool they included her. She's kind of iconic in a lot of ways, so I would really love Jill Valentine. And another thing is, if they did a Resident Evil character, that would be so fucking perfect for an Echo. If they did a character like Jill, they could put Claire in as Jill's Echo, and it would be completely reasonable to expect that. They could also possibly do something like Leon and Claire echoes for each other. Now, echoes are usually the same weight and same height, so maybe it would be best if they stuck to the same gender, but they could possibly do something like that with Leon and Claire, specifically those two, especially if it's based off of the Resident Evil 2 style of game. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That would be a great idea. And yeah, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. But we probably won't get Resident Evil characters in Smash, even though it'd be so dope, and you could do Raccoon City as the stage, and have it be like the police station or something. It would be perfect. Yeah, it would be so freaking cool, and they could have zombies in the background. That'd be so awesome. But I don't know if they'll do that for Smash. And the only other example I could really think of is like a character I would really want besides Strider and a Resident Evil character would probably be someone from like Final Fight, and again that's not gonna happen. So really though, if I had to pick one more Capcom character, it would be Zero. It'd be Zero. He's already an assist trophy though, so if I'm not allowed to pick Zero, it'd probably be Mega Man X or someone else from Mega Man. Just be something from Mega Man, just something. But Bass would be fucking badass, or Proto Man as an Ecco Fighter would be really dope. Anything like that would be super cool. So, sadly, we're just probably not, I don't know if we're gonna get any more Capcom representation. They kind of got a lot, because not only do they have Mega Man and Ryu, but they got an Ecco Fighter with Ken, and Rathalos is a big deal in the World of Light, and as he's one of the bosses in this classic mode, and he's a potential assist trophy. So not only is Mega Man and Street Fighter represented, but they also have representation with Monster Hunter. So really, Capcom is pretty well represented in Smash Bros. So I don't know if they'll get another character. I think that'd be perfectly fine. Honestly, I really would adore a Resident Evil character. And considering that Resident Evil 4 debuted on the GameCube and Resident Evil has a long history of being on Nintendo consoles, that would be super cool. So I would honestly prefer that over Dante. But I think a lot of people would still prefer Dante over that. Not just the hardcore DMC fans, but also the fans who just like a character that has a moveset that makes a lot of sense for Smash. And a character like Leon would even be kind of like a gag character, even though he's kind of a badass in his own right. He would probably have some weird moves that would not exactly work so well in Smash. So, and I mean, he is just a guy with a gun, so maybe not do that. So yeah, Dante's probably the thing that makes the most sense if they're going to do another character. It'd probably be Dante. Like if Capcom was really smart, that'd be their next bet after after Ryu and Mega Man. So and so far Capcom's been doing it right. Ryu and Mega Man make the most sense. So and also Ken is an actual Echo Fighter, so like that works too. And the way they did Ken and Smash was 100% accurate and just made him awesome. So I'm really glad. I have no problems with Ken, um, despite thinking I had a bunch before it was announced. So do I think Dante will happen? No, but would it be fun? Yes. Um, but I just don't think Capcom's getting any more representation. Alright, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here and now. It doesn't need to be any longer than this. I'm kind of surprised that even managed to make it this long, but I kind of barely talked about what Dante should have. So I'm going to end it right here. I'll see you guys on the next one.